90% of people who walk into a recruiter's office are a complete waste of time. And if you don't fix this, you're getting worse jobs, longer wait times, or not getting to join at all. But there's a rare applicant type that recruiters actually want. And I was a recruiter for 3 years, and I saw maybe 2 or 3 the entire time I was on recruiting duty. So look, recruiting is a broken funnel. As a recruiter, you might see a few hundred applicants that you talk to briefly, whether in a school, calling on the phone, knocking on their door, talking to them to see if they're interested in an appointment. Of that, you might talk to 25 to 50 people for appointments to discuss whether or not they want to join the military and whether or not they're even qualified to join the military. And then you might enlist 1 to 3 of those. 200 conversations for 3 applicants who actually join the military. So you're not necessarily competing to get in the military so much as you're competing not to be a headache and actually be able to join if you want to, right? People think the military is like the last choice. Oh no, I messed everything else up in life, I'm going to join the military. And they don't realize the military actually has some pretty strict standards for recruiting. So look, most people who come into the recruiting office, they show up late for an appointment, they're lackadaisical, they have no documents, they might think about it for a while, they're really picky on jobs, they're really stuck on a lot of stuff, right? The winners, the people who make this easy for recruiters, they're early, they're prepared, they're decisive, they're flexible. And if you're in the first group, you're already losing. For reference, recruiting is not commission-based. There's this rumor out there that you get paid for people you enlist. You don't. You just get pressure to recruit. You get a mission. We joke it's 36 one-month deployments because you get 36 months over 3 years where you're on the bag, as we call it, and you get told, hey, this month you need to enlist 1, 2, 3, maybe in a plus up 4, 5, 6 people. And so what happens is the station gets told, hey, you need to enlist 8 people. And then let's say there's 4 recruiters. That's 2 apiece. If there's 3 recruiters, that's 3, 3, and 2. And you'll kind of rotate through who's on the hook for what. And as a recruiter, you have to meet that mission. If you miss that mission, it's not fun. Now, in 36 months, knock on wood, right? I guess it doesn't matter anymore, knock on wood. I never missed mission. I never wrote a donut, a 0, as we call it. I never had to go talk to the head shed. But I had recruiters who did. And I had months where I only had 1 enlist. And I had months where I had 4 or 5 enlist. And I had plenty of months where 3 enlisted. In fact, I don't know if you can actually see it. This paddle from recruiting duty. This is called the 3 or More on the Floor Award. This is for 1 year on recruiting. The paddle was the first time I enlisted 3 people in a month, and then each star. So 5 of the 12 months of that year, I enlisted 3 or more people in the Marine Corps, right? So proof in the pudding. But there were months where it's towards the end of the month, and you don't know who you're going to enlist. And there's pressure. There's no extra money, but there's pressure. And you're working. And you're working like your career depends on it. Because it could. And you just need 1 solid applicant. And maybe, if you're lucky, this unicorn will be there. And they'll pick up the phone and they'll call you, and they'll walk in the office, and they'll be ready. This is the dream of all recruiters, right? You're already qualified. You fit height, weight standards. You've got your docs ready. You've got no medical issues. You pass the ASVAB. Maybe you get like an 85, which is what I got. But anything over a 50 is gravy by the military. You're flexible, meaning you don't really care about what job. You don't really care about when you go to boot camp. You just want to be a Marine, a soldier, an airman, a sailor, whatever. And that's very rare that somebody walks in ready to go. Like I said, maybe 2 to 3 people the entire time I was a recruiter. At the end of the day, recruiters don't want perfect applicants. They want easy applicants. They want minimal paperwork, people who are ready to go, not going to be a headache, not going to be like griping that they got to change their ship date because of girlfriend, or they got, a ticket right before they go to boot camp. We just want like low friction, low risk, fast win, easy, enlist and be done, right? Case in point, I'm going to read you something. This was my birthday, March 14th this year. My recruiter actually messaged me and just said, happy birthday. We talked back and forth. And then he said, hey, proud of you, brother. Keep pushing. And I said, thank you, good sir. I appreciate you reaching out and everything you did to get me on this wild journey of life, right? Because he follows my journey now. He's proud of me. He's cool. We still talk every now and then. He goes, hey, bro, I wish I could steal the credit, but the truth is you did it yourself. All I did was leave a door knocker at your place, process a little paperwork. Keep in touch. Let me know if you're ever in LA. I was like, hey, man, I know enough about recruiting duty to know that wasn't all that went into it. Will do. And he's like, well, you made getting in easy. Enjoy your day with the little one, right? Because I was hanging out with my kid. Point being, I was one of these guys. Like, I look back on my medical stuff, and I was so pressured to put something on my medical stuff that I put down that I put down my protein supplements and pre-workout I was taking as like medications that I use. Like, it's hilarious to look back on because I'm like, dude, that shit didn't matter at all. But I didn't know what I didn't know. I had nothing wrong. I had no legal history. I didn't really care about what job I did. I just wanted to be a freaking Marine. I was like, send me to boot camp when you're ready. And I was about as easy as they come. I even came in and helped tutor people on the ASVAB, which if you're thinking about DMing me, I don't do that anymore. Talk to your recruiter. Watch my YouTube videos on the ASVAB. Somebody asked me that the other day. I'm like, dude, I haven't, like, you don't want my help right now. So people get all twisted. They think they need to impress the recruiter. The bottom line is just be qualified. So like, if you're thinking about joining in 2-3 years, like, try to minimize your medical documents, right? Like, don't go to medical for stupid things. Now, obviously, if you're sick, whatever, but like, don't get on medication you don't need to be on. Get in shape, at least enough to just pass your fitness tests, pull-ups, push-ups, crunches, run time, whatever it is for your branch. Get within height, weight standards, look them up, talk to recruiters, right? Set yourself up for success. So don't think I'll lose weight later. I'm going to need to talk to my mom 7 times. I have to have this specific job. I don't have any of my paperwork, right? Like, don't be a headache. Like, if you really want to take this seriously, make it easy for the recruiters, right? And I'm not saying this is not a recruiting pitch. This is for people who've already decided they want to join. Don't get stupid tattoos. Don't get on stupid medications. If you don't need stuff, like, the cleaner your package is, the easier this whole process is. The more we add in complications of needing a specific job, girlfriend problems, I'm only able to go to boot camp on this date because I'm worried about this thing, legal issues, tattoos that could be an issue. Try to be as close to a clean slate as you can be if you want this to be a seamless process. Most military finance books are trash. The one I wrote actually helps service members and vets. So scan the QR code, click the link down below in the description, and grab your free PDF before you waste another paycheck. So look, if you dial these things in, recruiters are going to want you to join. Be physically ready. Medical docs ready. If you do have like medical issues, like you were on medication or you broke a bone or whatever, like, just go talk to your doctor and get the documents. Come in with them. That's like the dopest thing ever when an applicant walks in and is like, hey, I broke my bone. Here's all the records and it shows that I'm good. You're like, holy wow, my job is now so much easier, right? Pass the ASVAB, or at least be willing to study and improve it. Bring in a real copy of your birth cert, your social, and your actual ID, right? And if you're a high school graduate, diploma. If you're a high school senior, your grades to show that you're on track to graduate. These are things they're going to want. And urgency. Just be willing to go. Be ready. And again, the flexible on jobs, right? Like, hey, look, I get it. If you're hell-bent on a job, I got it. No big deal. But if you're not, it makes a lot of things easier for recruiters, because what you don't realize is, like, not everybody gets to be infantry. And I say that. There's going to be plenty of people who comment on here who don't want to be infantry. But the reality is a lot of people do. And there's a quota for each job every year. They have far more infantry than they do cyber, but they have far more truck drivers than they have anything else, or admins, or whatever. And so, like, if you know you're going to join the military, the end of your junior year, go talk to a recruiter and be like, I'm in. And the earlier that year you join, the more likely you are to get a job that you want, right? But if you're hell-bent on a specific job, that may determine when you're able to go to boot camp. Like, sometimes it was like, hey, the only spot I have for that job is 9 months from now. So if you really want that job, you got to wait for 9 months, and people would do it. And look, if you're not this person, it's not the end of the world, but you're probably going to get pushed to the bottom of the recruiter's priority. It's going to take you longer to get in. You're probably going to get worse job options. You're going to get less attention. And eventually you might get ignored. Not because they hate you, but because you're a big headache. So, like, if you've got a bunch of waivers, people think like, oh, I got this waiver. I just need this recruiter to bend over backwards for me and do all this stuff for me. If it takes, 50 hours to get you in the military and 3 hours to get this person, I'm going to go find 15 of these people. So look, if you're serious about joining, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be easier than everyone else. Be the applicants that recruiters fight for, not the one that they ignore. Hope you found this useful. The simpler you can make your enlistment process, the easier everything goes for everyone. All right. Make sure you subscribe, follow along. We got all the content on joining the military, and set yourself up for success while in. Love you guys. Have a great day.